Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to begin my series of basic crochet. I will be showing you the basic stitches needed to get you started in this wonderful hobby of crocheting. In today's video we are going to make a sampler of the basic crochet stitches, and I will be using a 6.5mm hook. It's a larger hook and it'll make the stitches easier to see. If you use a smaller size hook, you'll end up with smaller and tighter stitches. So let's get started. The first thing I would like to show you is if you find yourself where you need to connect two pieces of yarn, a really easy way to do this is to lay them side by side like this. Take your first piece underneath the second one, wrap it around and tie a knot, and then you do the same thing with the other side. Wrap it around and tie a knot, and then you take the two pieces and you pull them together, and that's going to give you a really secure knot that's not too big depending on the size of your yarn. And then you just snip it as close to the knot as possible, and that gives you a secure connection and you can continue on with your pattern. This is my introduction to crocheting. So all crocheting stitches are formations of interlocking loops, the simplest of which is the chain stitch. The chain stitch is used to form the first row of crochet and is an important part of many pattern stitches as well. As the foundation, it should be formed loosely enough that the hook can enter each chain easily and the edge of the work will not draw in. The first thing you'll need to know how to do to begin most of your patterns is to do a slip knot. So you leave yourself a tail, so for weaving in later on. Take your yarn, wrap it around your fingers, and then take your hook, go in through that space, grab the yarn and bring it through. And then you'll grab your two pieces, give that a pull. You're going to let go of the short piece and hold on to the longer piece, and then just give it a little pull. Now you don't want it too tight, because if you go too tight you won't be able to get your hook through easily. So you want it loose enough to where it slides over the hook easily, and you can get your hook through without too many problems. So first you're going to figure out what's the most comfortable way for you to hold your thread to where it's a little bit taut, and how to hold the hook to where you can maneuver it. Some people hold it like this. For me that's really uncomfortable, and so I hold it more like this. So to do your chain stitch, all you're going to do is grab your yarn with your hook, twist it so that way it's facing down, and then pull it on through that loop. And that's your first chain stitch. And you hold on to your yarn using your finger and your thumb, and you just continue doing that motion. Grab it, turn, pull through. And when you're doing these, you want to make sure that you're not pulling so tight that you can't get through. So just loose enough to where it slides easily over the hook. So grab your yarn, turn, pull it through. Grab your yarn and pull it through. I'll show you that a couple more times. Grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn and pull it through. So for the sampler that I'm going to make, I'm going to do a chain of 20 chains. So far I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you're counting your chains, don't count the one that's on the hook. So I've got 6 right now, and I'm going to continue until I have 20. Now that I've made my 20 chain stitches, I'm going to start my first row of single crochet. Single crochet is the shortest of the basic stitches. It makes a firm flat fabric, often used to finish edges of other stitch patterns and sometimes to join two finished sections. So to make your first row of single crochet, we're going to be working, if you turn your chain, you'll see on this side it makes like a V, and then if you turn it over you can see these little bumps right here, and those are where we're going to be working into. So we're going to start in the second chain from the hook, so don't count this one. You're going to count, that's the first one, this is the second one. So we're going to turn it over and we're going to go through this bump right here. Put your hook through, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then grab your yarn and pull through both of those loops. And that is a single crochet. So we're going to continue doing that. We're going to go through that loop right there, the back loop or the bottom loop, and grab your yarn, bring up a loop, grab your yarn, and then pull it through those two loops. Show that a few more times. So we're going to go through, bring up our loop, grab, and bring it through. Go through, grab your yarn, pull it through there, grab your yarn, and then pull through both. And that gives you the single crochet. And by working on the back here, it gives you the bottom will look nice and clean and even. So I'm going to continue doing that until I reach the end of my row. Here I am at the end of my first row, and I've gone all the way through to the very last loop. Now I'm going to turn my work. So if you're doing the single crochet, you chain one, turn your work, and then you're going to go in to continue for a second row of single crochet. You're going to go into this first space. So here's your little chain, and you're going to go right into that first space. You're going to go under both of those loops, grab your yarn, and bring it through, and continue with your single crochet. So now we're going to find the next space right there, put your hook through, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, grab your yarn, and pull through both. And that's how you continue with your second row of single crochet. You just do this a couple more times just to make sure. There we go. And then you're going to continue that all the way to the end of the row. Here we are at the end of our second row of single crochet. Got one last one to go. If you look at your yarn, you'll see that this stitching here continues on up, and you're going to go through those two loops that are right in front of it. So go through those two, make sure you're going through under both, grab your yarn, and finish off your single crochet. The next stitch I'm going to show you is the half double crochet. The half double crochet is slightly taller than a single crochet, and this stitch has a pronounced ridge in its texture, and it makes a firm and attractive fabric. So when you're doing a half double crochet, to turn your work, you're going to chain 2. So do 2 chain stitches. So there's 1 and 2. I'm going to turn our work around, and with the half double crochet, you follow your chain down and go into that first loop or space. Before you do that, you're going to wrap your yarn over, hold it in place, go through that first space, grab your yarn, bring up your loop. That's going to give you 3 loops on your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and you're going to pull through all 3 of those loops, and that makes your first half double crochet. So let's show you that a couple more times. Yarn over 1 time, go through the space, grab your yarn, bring up your loop, grab your yarn, and pull through all 3 loops. So yarn over, go through the space, grab your yarn, bring up your loop, and grab your yarn and pull it through all 3. Do that a couple more times just to show you. And through all 3, and yarn over, next space, bring it up and pull through all 3. And you're going to continue this on until you reach the end of your first row of half double crochet. Here I am at the end of my first row of half double crochet, and you can kind of see a little bit of a difference between the 2 rows of single crochet that we did down here and this row that we just now did of the half double crochet. So I'm going to finish my row by going through these last 2 loops. If you see this bump right here, you want to go just in front of it. So yarn over, go under those 2 loops, grab your yarn, and bring it on through. And then we're going to do 1 more row of half double crochet. So we're going to chain 2, chain 2, turn, and we're going to start our next row in this first space. So yarn over, bring up your loop, and through all 3. And we're going to just continue doing this. Oops. All 3. If for some reason you do make a mistake, it is really easy to back up. You just pull out your hook and then pull the yarn out until you're back to that 1 loop, and then you can continue. So yarn over, go through the next space, grab your yarn, and pull through all 3. And this will give you your second row of half double crochet. And I will meet you at the end of the row. Here I am at the end of my second row of half double crochet. I've got 1 more to do, so I'm going to go ahead, yarn over, go through that last space, grab my yarn, and go through all 3, and that gives us our 2 rows of the half double crochet. You can see it's a little bit taller than 2 rows of single crochet. Now the next stitch I'm going to show you is the double crochet. It is twice as tall as a single crochet and less compact. It forms the basis of many patterns. Now to start a row of double crochet, it is a taller stitch, so we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to begin in the second space. So we're going to skip this first one and go through this second one right here. So for a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, You're going to go through that second space, bring it up. You're going to have your 3 loops, and then you're going to grab your yarn, bring it through the first 2, grab your yarn, and bring it through the second 2. And that gives you a double crochet. So I'll show you that a couple more times. Yarn over. I'm going to go into that next space, bring up your loop, go through the first 2 and the second 2. Yarn over, through the space, bring up your loop, and 1 and 2. So you're pulling through 2 loops at a time with the double crochet. So grab your yarn. There's 1 and 2. And you'll see it's quite a bit taller. And you'll continue that until you reach the end of your row. Here we are at the end of our first row of double crochet, and we're going to start the second row the same way we did this first one. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work, yarn over, and you're going to skip that first space and go in through the second space. Now make sure you're going under both of those loops. Grab your yarn, bring it up, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And then you're not going to skip anymore, you're just going to continue in each space. So we're going to go to the next one, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So let's show you that a couple more times. Pull through 2, and pull through 2. And we'll just keep on doing that until you reach the end of your second row, and I will meet you at the end. Here we are at the end of our second row, and we're going to go ahead and do our double crochet in this space right here. So pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now you're going to see where we did our chain to make this even, so you don't end up with this uneven edge. You're going to take and you're going to probably have to turn it a little bit, and you'll see these two loops right here, which is at the top of the chain. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to go through those 2 top loops there. So there's the first one, and then we're going to go through that second one. Sometimes it's a little tricky towards the end. And that way you've gone under those 2 loops there. Bring your yarn through, and then finish your double crochet, and that's going to give you a nice straight edge right there. So the next stitch I'm going to show you is the triple crochet. It's a tall stitch, more open than the double crochet and used less frequently, and it is also called the treble crochet. So it's a taller stitch, so we're going to add another chain. So on the double crochet we chained 3, so on the triple crochet we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to turn our work, and then just like we did with the double crochet, we're going to skip that first space and work into this second one right here. So for the triple crochet, you're actually going to wrap around 2 times. So there's 1, 2. So that gives you 3 loops on there. Bring that through that second space. Bring up your loop. That's going to give you 4 loops on your hook, and you're going to pull through 2 at a time. So there's the first 2, the second 2, and the third. And you see this makes it even taller than the double crochet. So we're going to yarn over 2 times, so that's 1, 2, go through the next space, bring up your yarn, and then you're going to pull through 2 at a time. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And that gives you your triple crochet. So wrap twice, go through, and then pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So yarn over 2 times, go through, bring up your loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Yarn over 2 times, go through, bring it up, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And you'll continue that until you reach the end of your row. 2 times, bring it up, there's once, there's twice, and there's your third. And continue on that until you reach the end of your row. So I've reached the end of my first row of triple crochet, and we're going to finish this row just like we did with the double crochet. So we're going to do our triple crochet, yarn over 2 times, go through that last space there, and make your triple crochet. And then, just like with the other one, we're going to, it twists up a little bit, but we're going to find that chain there and make our last triple crochet in this final chain right here. So we're going to go through those 2 loops. So get through that first one, and then get through that second one. Bring your yarn through. This one could be a little tight. Oops, split my yarn. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish off this last triple crochet. And you can see it's taller than the double. And to move on to the second row of triple crochet, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn. And we're going to work into that second space. So yarn over 2 times, go through your second space, bring up your loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And then you'll continue on just the same way. So yarn over 2 times, go through, bring up your loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Pull out some more yarn here. I'll show you this a couple more times. And you go through. Now if you have trouble going through 2 of them exactly at the same time, you can just go 1, 2, and 1, 2. But if your yarn's cooperating, you can just through both of them at the same time. And you just continue that on until you reach the, whoops, yarn over 2 times. And you just continue doing that until you've reached the end of your second row of triple crochet. So here I am at the end of my second row of triple crochet. I'm going to yarn over 2 times. I'm going to go through that last space there and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And then I'm going to come down here to this first chain, and we're going to go through these 2 top loops. So yarn over 2 times, and then we're going to go through that first one and through that second one. Whoops, that didn't quite work. Sometimes this is a little tight. You just kind of have to work it under that second loop. There we go. And pull it through. And then just continue with the rest of your triple crochet. And as you can see, the further along we got, the taller the stitches got. We started down here with the single crochet and worked our way up through the half double, the double crochet, and the triple crochet. And the next stitch I'm going to show you is the slip stitch. It's a very short stitch used principally for joining and in the closing of a ring or a round, or the seaming of 2 finished pieces, so putting 2 pieces together. Though it's not used to produce fabric, it is sometimes worked along an edge to strengthen it and to minimize stretching, which is what we're going to do here. So we're going to go ahead and chain 1. We're going to turn, and then we're going to do our slip stitch. Now, since we only chained 1, we're going to go ahead and start in this first space here. You're going to go through there, bring up your loop, and then you're going to go directly through the one that was on your hook, and that is a slip stitch. So I'll show you that a couple times. Go through your space, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then go directly through the one that was on your hook. And this is a very simple slip stitch, and it'll just give a nice edge to whatever work you were working on. And we'll just continue that until, oops, I tried to do a single. Okay, slip stitch. Grab it and pull it directly through. So go through, grab it, and pull directly through. And you're going to continue this all the way to the end of your row. And it's going to give your piece a nice finished look. So this end will end up looking like your starting end. So here we are at the end of our row. I'm going to do a slip stitch in that last space, and then I'm going to come over here and find the top of the chain there and go ahead and do my slip stitch through that one, just so it comes out all nice and even, and bring it straight through. And then to finish, we're going to grab our yarn, bring it through, and then just give that a little tug. And you want to leave yourself a little bit of a tail for weaving in. So cut that off. And then you're just going to pull that all the way through. And that makes a little secure knot there. Then we're going to take our yarn needle and take that little tail that we made, and then you just weave it in through some of these stitches here. And it's a good idea to actually go through the strands of yarn, and that way it'll catch on itself and it'll help keep it from pulling back out. So I'm going to go through some of those, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to go back over other direction, and that should help keep it from pulling out and unwinding itself. And then you just snip it off there, and then that way, even if it gets pulled on, it's not gonna come undone. And there you have it. Those are the basic stitches for crochet. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see more of my videos, and I will see you all next time.